Imagine a world where cars still drive, planes still fly, and factories still run, but we never use crude oil. No drilling, no oil wells, no gasoline coming from deep underground. It sounds impossible at first, but what if we could actually create fuel without crude oil? Today, we're exploring one of the most important questions about our future, right here on Common Things, Surprising History. First, let's understand why this matters so much. Most of the fuel we use today, petrol, diesel, and jet fuel, comes from crude oil. This oil was formed millions of years ago from ancient plants and animals buried under the Earth's surface. The problem is simple. Crude oil is limited. One day it will run out, and when we burn it, it releases carbon dioxide, which contributes to global warming and climate change. So scientists around the world have been searching for better alternatives, and the answer might surprise you. Yes, we can make fuel without crude oil. One of the most common alternatives is biofuel. Biofuels are made from plants. For example, corn can be turned into ethanol, and vegetable oils can be converted into biodiesel. These fuels can be used in many engines that already exist today. What makes biofuels interesting is that plants absorb carbon dioxide while they grow. When biofuels are burned, they release that same carbon back into the air. This creates a more balanced cycle compared to fossil fuels. However, biofuels also have a downside. They require land, water, and large amounts of crops. This can sometimes compete with food production and affect agriculture. Another exciting option is synthetic fuel, also known as e-fuel. This is where things get really advanced. Scientists can create fuel using just water, air, and electricity. Here's how it works in simple terms. First, electricity is used to split water into hydrogen. Then, carbon dioxide is captured from the air. These two are combined through chemical reactions to create liquid fuel. This fuel can be used just like petrol or diesel. No crude oil is needed at all. And if the electricity comes from renewable sources like solar or wind, the entire process can be much cleaner. There's also hydrogen fuel. Hydrogen can power vehicles using fuel cells. Instead of burning fuel, hydrogen reacts with oxygen to produce electricity. And the only thing it releases is water vapor. No smoke, no harmful gases. But hydrogen has challenges. It is difficult to store and transport because it is very light and highly flammable. This makes it harder to use on a large scale. Then we have electric vehicles. These don't use fuel in the traditional sense. Instead, they run on batteries powered by electricity. If that electricity comes from renewable sources, then the entire system becomes much more environmentally friendly. Electric cars are already becoming more common, and many countries are investing heavily in this technology. But here's the reality. Crude oil is still the cheapest and most widely used energy source in the world. Alternative fuels exist, but they are still developing. Some are expensive, some need better technology, some require new infrastructure like charging stations or hydrogen networks. So the world won't switch overnight. Instead, the future will likely be a mix of different energy solutions. Biofuels for certain industries, hydrogen for heavy transport, electric vehicles for everyday use, and synthetic fuels for airplanes and long-distance travel. So, can we make fuel without crude oil? Yes, we already have the technology to do it, but the real challenge is making these solutions affordable, efficient, and available for everyone. The transition has already begun. Every year, new innovations are making alternative fuels more practical. Slowly, the world is moving toward a future with less dependence on oil. So the next time you see a car, a plane, or even a factory, think about this. The fuel powering it might not always come from deep underground. One day, it could come from sunlight, air, and water. And now you know the future of fuel might not need crude oil at all.